Hey everyone, this is Daniel, and in today's video we're going to talk about how we can use AI, Power Apps, SharePoint to go ahead and catalog and archive images. Now this is the second video because in the first one I focused completely on Power Automate and how we were able to use the flows with the AI to go and capture all the data of the images that were stored in SharePoint. So if you haven't already watch that one first, and I put the link down in the description. And then after that, come over here, because in this one, we're going to focus on building the Power Apps Canvas app. And we're going to do a whole bunch of it over there, making sure that we've got no delegation problems. So we'll just build the Canvas app together. But first, here's my intro. So as a quick recap from my first video, Gerard Simpson was the one who actually recommended this video. So a major thumbs up to you, Gerard, because this is something I had in mind. So thanks very much for recommending that. And if you're a YouTube subscriber, definitely go put that in the comments and I might just go ahead and build a video for you. So in this one, we had actually focused specifically on creating a SharePoint document library, extracting the data from that, saving it into different SharePoint lists, and then building an app to go ahead and reference that and basically create an app catalog. So in the previous one, I went and did all the flow piece. In this one, we're going to focus primarily on the Canvas one. And again, as a quick recap, here was the whole scenario is that if I have an image, I should save that image in a library. And I chose SharePoint for that because besides what Gerard requested, it has a great drag and drop functionality over there. So I can pick up multiple files, drop it over there. And that's why we went with SharePoint. In addition, we used SharePoint lists to capture all the metadata. And all in all, we went ahead and used 3 lists. One of them was to capture all the metadata of the list of the image. But then the other one, I went ahead and captured the tags and the file extension. We saved all the data in the last one, but today you will actually understand how the Power Apps uses it. Also, as a recap, you will see that this is how the flow worked, is that when an image was saved in the library, Power Automate flow with the vision was able to go and get us all the metadata. In addition, though, we didn't use that list to save images. We just referenced the original image library over there. And then another list was to capture all the tags. And then the third list was to go and get all the file extensions. So that's basically what we did. In short, there was 1 library and 3 lists over there. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to reference those SharePoint lists, 3 of them, and we're going to also build a Canvas app. And remember, the list data is already populated, so I've gone ahead and run some examples and tests. I've got some nice populated data, and now we're going to start building on the app. So I'm done with the PowerPoint sessions. Let's go and start building that Canvas app. So what I did was I want to first show you the data. Here is the SharePoint image library that I have. Since I've been dumping all the good amount of data over here, all the Power Automate flows ran, and therefore now I have a good amount of details in my image catalog details list. I also have a image catalog file extension list, and then I also have my image catalog tags list. If you remember from the previous one, is thanks to the way I build the flow logic over here, we've got no duplicates of the image catalog tags over here. Same thing over here, no duplicates of the image catalog file extensions. So here's now all the data. Now let's go start building our Canvas app. So I'm going to come over here and we're going to start with going ahead and coming into the new in the Canvas, and we'll start, at least doing the basic ones. So I'm going to, for the sake of this one, use a tablet layout. That way you can actually see in detail how everything is working. And it's going to go ahead and load us into our Canvas Studio. So the first thing I do is I go here and I'm going to save that name as the image catalog live demo. I'll give it a nice color, give it an icon that actually makes sense. So I think previously in that's a good one over here. Make sure I come in, save it, and we should already have screen number 1 created for us. And there we go, screen number 1. So as you know, one of my favorites is always to go ahead and get a header and a footer. So I'm going to go and do that. Create that. I usually make the header at 70. I'll call that as the my header label. and come in on the top. I'll call this as my image catalog. Give it a good font size, like 24 or something like that. Give it a Power Apps color. Image is white. Center it. And go ahead and change that to view. And I go grab that one. Make that. We'll call that as the footer. Footer, I go ahead and make that to about 40. Reduce this guy's size to, say, around 24-ish. And then all of you know what I'm going to put over here. I'm going to say powered by Power Apps. Okay, so the basic functionality of my app at least is up and running. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab some galleries. So the first gallery that I'm going to do is basically just get the image details gallery. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to go to insert. Well, actually, before I do that, let's go and connect our data. So our data connections are coming from our SharePoint. So I'm going to come over here to SharePoint. I already have an existing connection, so I'll just select that. I'll use some lists that I have. And this time, I don't need that images library. I just need details, file extension, the image catalog details, image catalog file extension, and the image catalog tags. Those are the three ones I need. Because remember, the image catalog details already has a link to go ahead and connect to the image. So I don't need that that actual connection to that library. So let me come back now over here. And I will actually grab this library and I'm going to connect that to the image catalog details. So I should already start getting some data in over here. Why? Because I've got some data in my SharePoint list. After I ran all those flows, I really have a good amount of data already. What I'll do is I'll just change the gallery name to image details gallery. So far everything is okay. I mean, I'm able to go ahead and see some images coming in. I'm able to go ahead and see, at least the file name. What I'll do is in here, I'll change that instead of the image ID. Let me go and add that as, let's just say tag. Yep, let's grab the tag because that way it makes it easier for me to see exactly what I'm searching for. So, and then I can try to create a little bit more room. Just give that file a little, this place a little bit more aesthetic room over here. Done that. Make that. Cool. And we are moving along. So now I'm going to go ahead and create two more libraries over here, galleries over here. One gallery is going to be primarily for the file name extensions, and then the other one is also going to be for the tags. So I'll come in now and I'll create another gallery. Now this gallery, I'm going to change the original design just to show one line. That's it. Grab that, put that down over here, change that one to tags gallery. And I'll actually call this one as tags. If I just do that and go in here, I can see that that's the tags gallery and it's all coming through. Now, since the tags is just one line, I can go and make this really small. It's coming through nicely. I don't need any arrows, so I'm going to remove that. I don't need the separator, I'm going to remove that. Just gives that nice look and feel over here that this is just the tags library. All right, maybe I can even make it a little smaller. Make that say 18. Just a little bit smaller. So, and then finally, let me go ahead and get my file extension gallery, and which is very similar to this one over here. So what I'll do is I'll just Control C, Control V, grab that over here, and call this as my file name extension gallery. Change that to, so you have that option here, file name extension. Cool, and that is all looking good. So the basic things you've done. We got the gallery, at least the design over there. We went ahead and put the three galleries. Now we got to get them interconnected. And the key thing is we got to make it delegable, which means I should not have any delegation limits because remember, this thing is going to grow. I'm going to have lots of images. I'm going to have lots of tags, and eventually I also should have a whole bunch of file name extensions. I don't anticipate myself going over 500 file name extensions, but as far as the tags and the images, oh yeah, we're going to go over 500. We could easily go over 2000, which means it's very important that we don't have any delegation issues over here. The second thing is I got to make sure that my formulas at least help a little bit with the filtering, because when it comes to SharePoint, the filter function is the one I can use. I can't really use the search over there. So I'm going to use the filter function, and I'm going to make sure that it works over there. So let's start with doing this one over here, okay? Because the main selection, the filtering of happening on this main gallery is all based on the magic that happens over here. What do I select? What I don't select? That's the key one. So a lot of filtering and touching is going, on filtering is happening over here. So one of the things I could do is I got to make sure that, hey, when I'm connecting or when I'm clicking, the clicking should happen, or the filtering should happen based on what I select over here. So let's come up with some examples, right? In the example, I'm going to say, hey, if let's just start this way. If tags, I'm going to say tag equals, and I'll say tags gallery dot selected dot title. All right, so I do that, not if, filter. So I'm doing that, and now for example, I'm already going ahead, and remember I did it based on the tags over here. So by default, always the first one is selected, and the first one item of a gallery is already selected. And if you know, if I go into my where is it, template fill, I put in this if this item dot is selected, then I say give me a yellow, otherwise that. So now you know that I've selected something. That's why this one has been selected and this one is getting filtered. Filtered based on only the shape. I have something on the grass. This one goes there and gets filtered on the grass, so on and so forth. And now you're able to do some quick filtering over here. But the important thing is you are not seeing any of those exclamation marks. You know, those annoying yellow color exclamation marks, you're not seeing any of those, which means this is 100% delegable, and it is using SharePoint as the backend database over there. But let me go ahead and do some more, filtering based on the file name extension. So I can go ahead and now do and I can say, how do I put this? And file name extension equals file name extension gallery dot selected dot and here's also title. So if I do that now, come here again, for this one I gotta put that same selection piece over here for template fill, that way you know what I'm selecting. So you see what's going on now? Everything is sign and everything is a PNG file. Why? Because I've done sign and I've done PNG. So if I were to go ahead and pick JPEG, it is also a sign and a JPEG over there. So you kind of understand how I'm doing the filtering. The reason I'm selecting it this way is because sometimes the search option, like searching it based on text, doesn't really work well for SharePoint, because it will always just start searching from the first name. Like, if I search from sign, I got to put in the entire sign over here until it will work. So that's why in this case, for this specific reason, I'm going ahead and doing a lot of filtering based on these selection options, but I'm giving you a lot of filtering options. I'm giving you based on the tags, the file name extensions, because the file name here may not make much sense. You might have 1.jpg, 2.jpg, 3.jpg. It might not make any sense, but these tags and these file name extensions might help you more. And I specifically think the file name tags over here will help you more. So now that we've done the basic things over here, what I need to do is kind of give you a little bit more flexibility of how we can do the sorting and things like that, or selecting, should I do it together, should I do it just one? That's basically what I'm trying to help you over here with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I'm going to put some checkboxes over here. Basically the checkbox is telling you that I'm only doing a selection based on this one. So right now, any selections that I do, I just do it based on here. So I'm going to call this as my tag checkbox, and I'm going to take out the option because there's only one option. And I'm also going to go ahead and do a Control-C, Control-V, because we're going to grab that and put that over here. And this one is going to be extension checkbox. Okay, so we got that little checkbox done. Also, I'm not just stopping over here. I'm going in and deep diving a little bit more. I'm also going to put a search box over here just for you, because there is a lot of tags. And let's face it, you need the option to search over here. So that's why I'm putting in a tags text box input. And over here, I can just delete that off, and I can say search for tags. Okay, now this should be a really good amount of, making this as a fully functional catalog app over here. So let me first make sure that I can at least go ahead and do this filtering over here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead now. It's the gallery. In the gallery for its items, I'm going to put in this formula. And it's important that you put in the formula this way, because if you just put in a filter formula, if you haven't typed anything, this gallery just goes blank. But what I want to do is that if there's nothing typed, like if there is an is blank, then still show me some data. And here's the magic formula for that. So I'm going to put an if, and I'm going to say, and watch this, I'm going to actually move this all the way out first. I'm going to say is blank, and is blank what? The is blank is this text input over here. So I'm going to, the magic that I've always been doing, right, is if I'm not too sure what I'm selecting over here, whether it's the right name or should I go hunting for it, I just select on it, and I either come over here or I come over here and I double click on it and I do a Control-C, and then I click somewhere outside. Now that I have it in my clipboard, I can just come paste over here. So that is how I've been saving myself so much struggle, especially if you're that kind of person who's not very organized and doesn't name them properly. Hunting for that name is going to be tough. So the trick is always select it, come to the properties on the top over here, come to the properties, find what it is, double click on it and copy it. Let's just share a little tidbit with you. All right, so came back over here, dot text is blank equals true. If it is true, then in my image catalogs over here, go ahead and filter it. And I'm going ahead and filtering based on the image catalog tags, comma, title. Title equals the tags text input dot text. So let's take a minute to see what's going on over here. What's basically I'm saying is that if this thing is blank, show me all the data. Otherwise, show me only the data which is filtered based on what is being selected over here. That's basically what I'm saying. And by default, you know that the first item is already selected, which is why the shape is selected, which is why it's showing me this thing over here. So that is how it becomes really helpful, is that if it is blank, give me all of this information over here. Now, let me show you as an example. If I go and type in, see, this thing is blank, which is why it's showing me all of this. But this gallery is showing shape because for every galleries over here, the first one is selected. So it's kind of already giving you a little help to get started. But now if I come and type and say dog, then dog shows up over here. It already becomes selected, and then this thing filters over there. Again, no yellow exclamation marks because everything is 100% delegable, which means no delegation errors over here. Huge point for me to point out. And this is just bothering me, so I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bigger. Cool. So we've gone ahead and done this at the filtering level, but let's not just stop over here because I want to add, what if this box is checked and that one isn't? Or what if this checkbox is checked and that one isn't? Or what if both of them are checked? So I'm going to now go ahead and start doing some really fun things on this filtering over here. So watch how I'm doing this formula. I'm going to make this a little bigger because we're going to play around with some filtering options. So first, here's the key thing is I'm going to put some if conditions. And I'm going to put some ors, or, and ands. The ors are the 2 exclamation marks. Ands are the ampersand. And I'm going to do it all together, making sure that no delegation errors. Okay, so watch with me. So I'm going to do an if. And in the if, I'm going to first reference the first tag. tag checkbox, if the tag checkbox value equals true, true, and if the extension checkbox dot value equals false, then do this filtering. And the filtering basically is that the tag one was selected. Which is the tags. Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's just go and wipe this off. Let's just do that. Okay, so if the filter, and for the image catalog details, first thing again is blank. Remember, this is blank is what we just did for the tags. Same thing over there. Is blank tags gallery dot selected dot title. All right, or is empty. And I'm doing this is empty just as an extra precaution. But is empty again. The tags gallery dot all items. If that is the case, then go ahead and tag it. Go ahead and filter it based on the tag column in the SharePoint list and the tags gallery dot selected dot, and this is the title. Okay, but they're not stopping just there. We got to keep going, because what if the other extension, other thing has happened? Okay, I'm going to grab this one over here, and I'm going to come in, paste it, and say, what if this one is false and this one is true? Well, in that case, something else is going to happen. Watch what happens over here. I'm going to type in. This time I'll type it in, but we can later on do some copying and pasting. Again, filter image gallery details, and I'm going to say is blank. Same thing over here. Is blank tags gallery dot selected dot title, or is empty. Same thing, tags gallery all items, or just go ahead and get me the file name extension equals file name extension gallery dot selected dot title. Right, and when you was typing in over here, you notice that I for a minute got a delegation that underscore, blue color underscore, but that's because it didn't let me finish typing yet. But so far I'm still good. So the second one is saying that I haven't selected the checkbox for the tags, but I've selected the checkbox for the extension. If that's the case, then this is how it works over here. But now the final case is, what if I've selected both of them? Then how the gallery is done. So that's the final piece over here. I'm going to do final image catalogs, comma, is blank tags gallery dot selected dot title, or is empty dot tags gallery, where are you, all items over here, or, and now here we go with the both of them. So the both of them, I can just copy this one over here. Let me copy it correctly. Put that here, and I gotta make sure I put that and then go ahead and get this one as well, the second one, and now I can go ahead and close that and come down the bottom, close it. Okay, I think it just took a while for it to propagate through, because I was getting an error, but then it went away. Just gave it a little bit of extra time. But make sure no delegation issues whatsoever, no errors, no that annoying underscore blue line which comes and says that this may not work for large data sets, and I don't have that yellow squiggly line over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first save it, publish it, and then we can do some testing. So what I've done is I'm going to come over here and also put this to clear button. And these are there by default. In fact, you know what? Let me just stop over here. I'm going to do another nice option to first make it invisible. And I'll also hide that checkbox over here. So in the visible, I'm going to put in if tag gallery dot, not tag gallery, tag checkbox. Checkbox dot value equals false, then false, otherwise true. Okay, so I went ahead and disappeared. I'm going to grab this one because I want to do something on this one over here. And for that checkbox specifically, I want to change the display mode. All right, so in the display mode, it's going to be very similar to what I did over there. Same. If, let me copy that, tags checkbox dot value equals false, then make the make it only a view, otherwise change the display mode to edit, and that oh, 2 commas over here, take care of that. So now what you're seeing is I'm not, until and unless I check that box over here, nothing happens. But when I do it, then I'm able to do some stuff, right? Makes it a little bit easier. So what I did over here for this checkbox, I mean, this thing getting invisible, let me go and do the same thing over here for this gallery. I just need to change the checkbox name, and this one's checkbox name is the extension checkbox, and that should work. So basically our app is always going to start this way. Now I can do search. Search one by default, it has gone ahead and done the shape. If I went over here and it's got the JPEG over there, but if I selected the PNG, it's giving me both shape, and it's giving me PNG files. If I go ahead and remove that, now all it cares about is the PNG files over here. That's why there's arrow, there's man, there's all these other things. But if I select this again, now it's going back to the shape ones over here. So you see how this combination of doing the and the ors in the items filter that we did, plus I'm able to go ahead and check, doing this checkbox to hide and show, that basically makes it that if the box is checked, then use this. If it's not checked, then use that. I'm putting a whole bunch of combinations over here to literally make your image catalog app, which is giving you full functionality over there. So this is basically how I had to go ahead and build the app, and it's fully functional. I can select it. I can go ahead and hide that. Now only outdoors is done. Doesn't really care what kind of file that you've used, but if I selected that, the PNG over there works. So as a quick recap, we went ahead and built a full Canvas app over here that went ahead and connected to the 3 SharePoint lists. I walked you through in the Canvas app, actually built 3 galleries and how those 3 galleries were so interconnected, and made sure that there was no delegation errors whatsoever. It went ahead and pulled all the informations. Remember the hyperlinks that we had in the SharePoint list? They actually showed up as images over here in the Canvas apps. So that app is fully functional. And now I don't care if you've got 500 or 2,000 or 10,000 items in that SharePoint list. It will all work. The search for the tags will work, and selecting on what you select, which tag or which file extension, will go ahead and populate that gallery there. So hope this was helpful, and as always, keep power apping.